Hello, dear friends. Freedom is a God-given birthright. Truth and justice are becoming scarce commodities. Opinion piece. Final fight. Final battle. The rules have changed. Farewell to darkness. The struggle is heating up. From slavery to freedom. Male-female balance. The storm is upon us. Let's start. The battle, the final battle, the great awakening, the moment when the dark side realizes it cannot win, is when we most need to preserve our mental, physical, and spiritual health and our center. We do not know exactly the details of how the transition will take place that must occur for government to be truly of the people, by the people, and for the people. The final battle represents a confrontation between good and evil, where the fate of the world is decided, and refers to the decisive and crucial confrontation that takes place at the end of a series of conflicts. It is the climatic moment when a battle is fought or a crucial combat takes place that can decide the final outcome of a conflict or conquest. We are literally in the final moments of the cleanup. Transition. Winds of Change chronicles the paradigm shift, including the advancement of the global financial reset and the transition to a life of abundance. Let the magic begin as you two begin to manifest. Digger Barr believes that the process of liberation is one of change and is not easy. Like dieting, it requires total commitment and full attention to the practice. But when done with love, it emerges as an intangible journey that flows more freely. Waves of light from within connecting with the infinite frequency outside. Claudio Grass opines that avalanche is gaining speed, fear is failing, and that started an avalanche that cannot be stopped. Gold has taken off and will continue to rise. Truth is Unbreakable writes that not only is the collapse accelerating, but also the danger of artificial intelligence and the destruction of free speech. According to Steve Biko, the hype and chaos around us revolves around the farewell of the dark ones. Look for the old to simply fade away. When the mind is still, nothing can disturb it. When nothing can disturb it, reality ceases to exist in the old way. To experience reality, stop using words. For the more you talk about things, the farther you move away from the truth. Bruce Wilds believes that anger is building up around the world. The media has perfected the art of dividing us while keeping us in the dark. The Angry Men's song from the musical Les Miserables screams that enough is enough. In the musical, the people seem very happy until the soldiers start killing them. There is too much going on for society to remain focused on a simple problem. Few people today are aware of the recent protests in France, Pakistan, Germany, and many other countries. Politicians tend to avoid accountability like the plague. Those in power continue to crush the rights and freedom of the individual. Truth and justice are becoming scarce commodities. Revelations. Summary of a plan to save the world. What we are seeing in the last 2 years is all an optical illusion. There is an operation that is liberating humankind. The lockdown was the theater to awaken people to the illusion of freedom. All the scenarios were part of the same operation. It's not about countries and leaders, but about good fighting evil. It's about cleansing an evil matrix of corruption. Good leaders have fulfilled the global coalition for great change. The scenarios being played out collapse the matrix of evil. Everything will collapse and the known world will come to an end. Only then can we start the new. Things will change when the switch is flicked. Everything is connected and nothing is by chance. Jared Rand conference call. The dark side has put in fake players. Their top priority is to keep people poor. If the information is scary, its origin is dark. Nuclear weapons will not explode because they are controlled. Central bank digital currency will fail. The goal is to end corrupt banking systems. QFS will be implemented and all currencies will be restarted on an equal footing. There are a lot of scams with people planted out there to misinform. Like a guy in Spain claiming to be in charge of the RV. The biggest priority of the iniquitas is to not allow the real reset to happen. Their biggest goal is to not allow the transfer of money to the people. The coalition keeps the information safe and will not have anyone talking every day. This is not a joke, but the biggest change ever. Reset news. All sources have been told to keep quiet. The EBS and GSRA protocols are listed according to Before It News. US senators receive satellite phones for emergency communications. According to Jude Bington, all electronic financial transfers were suspended in Iraq on Friday, 19th May. She adds that there are currently two financial resets underway, the central bank digital currency and the coalition's gold-backed global currency, which is also digital but is fully secure on the new Starlink satellite system. The Great Reset in Davos is based on biometric IDs or tattoos, which are called the Mark of the Beast. David Wilcock reveals the pulse of the tug of war. There is a hidden conflict in many countries between the iniquitas and the white hats that will escalate. Both factions will hurl accusations of treason at each other while the media will take the dark side. Pakistan has been plunged into chaos, with violent clashes between security forces and Imran Khan's supporters. In the past year, countries in Africa, South America, Sri Lanka, Kazakhstan and Myanmar have experienced coups, and more incidents are expected. A coalition is orchestrating these events behind the scenes, catalyzing the storm and heralding the Great Awakening. The creation of independent financial systems is accelerating globally. 13 countries are applying to join the BRICS. The association is based on 3 pillars: political security, economic and financial development, and social interaction between member countries. JP Morgan freezes bank accounts without notice. Prosecutors in 19 states say. Opinions. Gregory Mannarino says the global bond market is being sold and believes this is a prelude of something big. John Rubino says catastrophic lending is killing the global financial system. Goldilocks says that almost the entire market has been competed to secure overnight financing rate loans. By the end of June, these contracts will be completed in dollars. This will collateralize the dollar with a tokenized asset of real value. In his view, we are close to the final journey for the QFS. A new gold standard economy will begin as currencies will be backed by gold, and new standard protocols will be implemented in early July, which would be the beginning of a global financial reset. We will end the QFS and new values will begin to emerge across the board. The circuit overnight financing rate is a benchmark interest rate used in financial markets. It is based on actual transactions in the market for repos or collateralized repurchase agreements backed by treasury bills. It is an overnight interest rate, meaning that it is calculated on the basis of transactions taking place during a given day and published the following day. The United Nations is currently rolling out the 2030 Agenda with the famous sustainability goals. This global project aims to completely transform every aspect of humankind's existence: food, sexuality, family, work, finance, health, education, and so on. This would supposedly put an end to poverty, hunger, inequality, disease, and other bad things. A former executive director who worked at the UN for 2 decades tells a totally different story. Benjamin Fulford believes that the G7 nations are trying to keep up despite appearances. When the G7 began in 1976, they controlled 70% of the world's GDP. It also stood for democracy, human rights, the rule of law, etc. Now it controls only 27% of GDP and is under a Babylonian system. A G7 without China is just a consultation group with good intentions, according to Mariano Iberri. According to Fulford, the corporation has to borrow just to pay the interest on its debt, which indicates bankruptcy. He adds that the White Dragon Society and its White Hat allies have negotiated an alternative. More than 81 countries have renounced the dollar, and that includes oil-producing nations such as Iraq, Venezuela, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates, Iran, Saudi Arabia, etc. Economy. Global stocks rise on hopes of debt ceiling deal. Dollar hit 6-month high against the yen on interest rate expectations. Oil rises on talks to avoid debt default. Game theory hints at market calm in debt standoff. Stocks risk a sharp reaction if debt ceiling talks fail, according to JP Morgan. Treasury insists it will not be able to pay all government debts. Goldman Sachs estimates that the US will run out of cash within 3 weeks unless it resolves its debt crisis. Traders brace for volatility of a debt problem. 2 Fed officials say more interest rate hikes may be needed to cool prices. Fed presidents say more interest rate hikes are needed to cool inflation. Elon Musk and Mohamed El-Erian criticized the Fed for the way it tackled inflation. Morgan Stanley CEO resigns, one of the last of the Great Crisis. India's culling of its 2,000 rupee notes is driving holders into real estate and gold. Other news. Dangerous eruption of Krakatoa volcano in Indonesia. 41 volcanoes are currently erupting, and we are being hit with a record-level coronal mass ejection. In the last 24 hours, there have been 5 earthquakes worldwide with a magnitude of 5.3 or greater. Hungary blocks European military aid to Ukraine. Paris presents a 15-minute prison city, a building you can't get out of unless it's on the train tracks. Psychological violence. The French government has introduced a law allowing married couples to face criminal charges if they offend each other during arguments. It is the first country to ban psychological violence between couples. Spain gives Total Energies the green light to install 48 solar parks with 3 gigabytes. protests in Madrid against the world's first octopus farm. Americas. Mexico prepares to evacuate 127,000 people due to possible eruption of Popocatépetl. Methamphetamines to withstand Mexican maquila days. Bolivia makes progress in the substitution of dollars for yuan in its trade with China. The Brazilian justice system charged another 250 people for the riots in Brasilia. China. China's economy has rooted, and reopening it would be a farce, says an expert. China's central bank calls for rate cuts to boost growth. A poor Chinese province plagued on bridges and roads, now it faces a reckoning. Guizhou province has stunning scenery and some of the world's tallest bridges, and an outstanding debt of about 1.3 times its gross domestic product. The British Prime Minister says China poses a great challenge to global security and prosperity. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.